Today we're going to learn how to clean surgical instruments. The first thing you want to remember is to remove all of your sharps from the pack. You don't want to hurt yourself, so remove the scalpel blade, put in the sharps, and then be careful of any instruments that are going to poke you, like the back house towel clamps or the Gelpy retractors. Okay, so we will put in some cold water so the debris doesn't set in, so use cold water. And we're going to fill up this bucket. All of our items live in this cabinet here. So we'll fill up the bucket with 1 gallon of water. The instructions are on the wall if you need them. So 1 gallon of water you can fill to the bottom of the blue line, or we have this where you can fill this up twice, half a gallon, twice. Okay. All right. Now we would like to use distilled water, but a lot of people don't, so we're just going to use regular water, which is fine. So cold water. Once the bucket is filled with cold water, we're going to go ahead and put in all of our instruments. Okay. And we do want to add some detergent. We have this powder detergent, and it says to use a half scoop. So this is a full scoop. We'll do, it doesn't have to be exact, do a half a scoop. Whoops. We'll pick that up later. Okay, then there are brushes that we're going to use to scrub the instruments inside the jaws, the box lock, ratchet, and inside the ring handles. Okay. So once you've done that with all of the instruments, you can then go ahead and put them in the ultrasonic cleaner. So with the ultrasonic cleaner, we're going to fill this up with a half gallon of water, okay, and a 1/4 scoop of detergent. All right, so we're gonna place a half a gallon of water in the ultrasonic cleaner. Okay. When you do this, make sure that this clamp is closed, otherwise your water is gonna leak out. Okay, so clamped closed, half a gallon of water, and try to just get like a 1/4 scoop of detergent. Okay, and then you're gonna put your instruments in. I choose to just put in the hinged instruments. Some people put in non-hinged, but the idea is that the agitation of the ultrasonic waves is really gonna get into the nooks and crannies. So I put in hinged instruments like this, and sometimes I'll be standing up like that. Okay. Once they're all in there, cover it up, turn this on for 10 minutes. Once 10 minutes is up, you're gonna remove the tray, come over to the sink, and just rinse off the residue from the instruments. You're gonna lie all of your instruments on a towel. And then you're going to spray them with lube. Some people have an extra bucket with milk that they'll use. We just have the spray. So there's one that says Spectra Lube. Make sure it's the one with the lube and not the Spectra Clave, because that one's used to clean the autoclave. Okay. You're just going to spray it on all the instruments like that. And then flip them all over and do the same thing. All right, once these instruments are dry, you're gonna let them air dry. Once they're all dry, then you can go ahead and wrap them up, put them in your pack and wrap them up. Okay. Here at school, we don't leave this out all day, so just when you're done, go ahead and unclamp and drain the water. Once all of our instruments are dry, we're gonna wrap them up. So we're gonna get a tray, and I am wrapping the blue pack, so make sure you know which pack you're wrapping. I'm going to take this blue towel and wrap our tray like so. Okay. So we're going to start with the snow cook and place all of our ringed instruments along the snow cook in increasing size. So we're going to leave out the back house towel clamps though, because those are going to go on the top. So these are the back house. I should have one more in here. Okay, so we're going to put those aside. We're also going to put aside the scalpel handle and the Adson Brown thumb forceps. Okay, and then the rest will get lined up. So let's find our longest. So we got some Alice tissue forceps, some Carmalts. Let's see. That looks okay. We have Metzenbaums and Mayo Hagar. So those would go on this side. Looks pretty good. We have standard operating scissors. That looks okay. That looks like we've got a couple of mosquito forceps and the Olsen Hagar needle holders. So that we'll put right here, like that. Oops. It's very difficult sometimes. Okay, and then our mosquitoes. Okay, oops. And you might ask, why aren't you clamping these closed? Well, they're supposed to stay open during autoclaving. And we'll just put our snook hook through those like that. And then lay them out the best that you can. Just try to make it as flat as possible. There, that's pretty good. Okay, and then we're going to place our scalpel handle on one side and our Edson Browns on the other. All right, so we've got some gauze squares. We're gonna have 2 stacks of 10 for a total of 20. We need to make sure that we have the proper amount so that none are left in the patient. Place them there. And then we're going to take our sterilometer, our sterile strip, just put it in here like so. And we're gonna take our towel clamps and just place them on top, just like that. And now we're ready to wrap. We're gonna take one muslin wrap, place our tray kitty corner like that, and then we're gonna wrap. You wanna wrap from you first and then away, and then you can do either left or right or left, and then followed by this one. That's important because when we go to open it, it has to be opened a certain way, okay, to maintain sterility. Now, if this were a gown pack, I would really be cranking down on this, but because these are delicate instruments, we don't want to do that. Okay? You'll notice how I'm making these flaps. These flaps are very important for when we open it to, again, maintain sterility. And then this last lip goes inside, just like so. Okay? And then we're going to wrap it again. So I've got my second muslin wrap. And when you put the pack in this time, the flap that you folded in has to be towards you. Okay? And then you're going to wrap it the same way. Okay? And again, that's important for when we open it. This is our second muslin wrap. Hold this one. And I always do left to right, but it doesn't matter as long as you're consistent with both wraps. All right, now that it's wrapped, we're gonna go ahead and put our autoclave tape on. Okay. Got a little courtesy tab on one end. Now this doesn't have to go all the way around the pack. Okay, just enough to hold it closed. And then we're gonna write 3 pieces of information. We're gonna put the contents. So that was a blue pack. And you might have, you know, spay pack, neuter pack, some other pack, but we know what it is here. Blue pack, and then your initials, so my initials, and then the date. And it's supposed to be the date autoclaved. So if I was gonna put it in the autoclave, I'd write today's date. But since I'm not, since we're gonna autoclave it tomorrow, then I'll just put a line, okay? So contents, your initials of who wrapped it, and the date that it's to be autoclaved. All right, first thing we're gonna do is turn on the autoclave. And we're going to make sure that we have enough distilled water, which we do. Okay, if not, we'll fill that up. Go ahead and place your pack in the autoclave. Okay. Now, if we were going to place a instrument pouch in there, then we want to make sure that the plastic side is down so that the condensation doesn't end up on the paper and get the instrument wet. So pouches go plastic side down. All right, next thing you're going to do is turn the dial to fill water. Okay, fill water, and then you're going to watch the water and it will trickle down to this line. Once it hits that line, you're going to turn the dial to STE or sterilize. Okay. Just simply shutting the door will not stop the water. So if you shut the door and fiddle around with switching the dial, water is going to leak out. Okay, so turning the knob to sterilize will stop the water. Okay. Almost there, almost there. Okay, turn the knob to sterilize, and that stops the water. Go ahead and close the door, tighten it, righty-tighty. And it has to be firm, but don't crank it down. Okay. Now, if you haven't checked the temperature already, you're gonna make sure that it's on 160 degrees Celsius. Excuse me, 260. The directions are also on the wall. So 260 degrees Celsius, which it is set for. It's that second line right there. Okay. And then you're going to set the timer for 50 minutes, 50. Okay. And then the timer should go off in 50 minutes, and we'll, once the timer goes off, okay, I'm gonna pretend the timer went off.
Okay.
All right, so 50 minutes is up. Ding. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to wait for the pressure to come down. So there's a white bar which would have gone all the way up to indicate the pressure. And so before we open the door, we have to make sure that that white dial goes all the way back down to 0 so that we can open it and not get hurt. Okay, so once the timer goes off, we would have turned it to dry, and then the pressure would go down. Okay, once the pressure's down, then we can go ahead and open the door. You're going to open it just a little bit like this to let it vent, and you're going to set it for 20 minutes to dry vent. Okay. Once the 20-minute dry cycle is up, ding, then you can put it back to 0 and go ahead and remove your items. Okay, please note that they're going to be very hot, so you can use this cute little mitten here. Just be very careful. Okay, and then you're going to place the blue tape for the expiration. Okay. So you're just going to write EXP, and then this is a double wrapped muslin pack, so it's good for 7 weeks. And I just ask Siri, I say, hey, when is 7 weeks from now? Okay. And then you're going to put EXP with the date, and then place it on your pack, and then it goes up in the cabinet. Make sure that the newest expiration dates that you use the ones that are going to expire first.